Hey, Jessica from Guesthook here. So if you've watched my last couple live edit videos, you may have noticed that they're a bit on the long side. Blame it on my career as a teacher. I can get a bit long-winded when I'm talking about writing. So I've decided to do something a little different. And instead of going through an entire listing and editing that, I'm just going to zero in on a specific piece of a listing. So for this first one, I'm going to focus on headlines. I think it's really the most important, piece of copy that you'll write for your listing. It's the thing that's going to grab people from the search results page. It's going to, quickly and accurately capture your unique selling points. And if you know anything about copywriting, they always say that if you have a great headline, that pushes people to read the first line, and then if you have a great first line, they'll move on to the second line. And so you're just always trying to engage your potential guests. So first step to engaging them is with a great headline. So I'm looking at this listing here from Margaret. Thank you so much, Margaret, for sharing. And she's got a place in Pawleys Island, South Carolina, which is about 70 miles from Charleston, down in the Low Country. And so let's sort of break apart this headline and talk about some ways we might be able to improve it. Okay, so she talks about golf. She talks about the pool and the hot tub in her community. It's minutes to the beach. It's on the first floor. It's got a washer and dryer, tennis, and free Wi-Fi. So there's a lot going on in this headline, right? There's a lot of things that she's talking about here, as well as this interesting little emoji choice, which I really do like that. I think right now enough people aren't really using emojis that can help you stand out on the search results. So I'll also walk you guys through how to do those emojis if you're not sure. Well, at least if you have a Mac. If you have a Windows, you might have to a Windows machine. You might need to look it up on your own, because I do have a Mac and I can tell you how to pull up those emojis on a Mac. Um, so so she's got a lot packed in here, and I think maybe in the midst of that, she may have missed a couple things. I think so. I did some research about her competition in the area, what other rentals are available on Pawleys Island, and one thing that really isn't quite captured in the headline, and perhaps maybe not even really in the photos, is really the nice design that this place has. The photos are slightly washed out. So, Margaret, you might want to consider getting some new photos with a little bit less light in them, so that you can kind of see the colors and the really nice design scheme you have going on here. Kind of like a Southern living, chic sort of style. And then one other thing, too, that I really liked about this property that maybe isn't coming through in the headline right now is this lovely screen porch. So actually, my first piece of advice might be to go ahead and swap out your main photo, which is right now the living room shot, and replace it with this screen porch one. It's just really nice. It really captures like that Southern style vibe. You've got the beautiful ceiling fan, the view, and I think you mentioned that there's a golf course view. And some of the reviews call out the porch too as being a really nice element, because there's no view of the neighbors can't see you from the porch, which is really nice. So it's private. Whereas some of the things in the headline right now, like I would argue these things are maybe not as unique as the screen porch. I think kind of people are assuming free Wi-Fi. I think most people assume that places have that now. If you don't have it, I highly recommend getting it. But I really don't know that that has a place in the headline. Of course, you want to keep it in your listing, let people know you have free Wi-Fi. That's important to a lot of people, but it might not be headline worthy. You only have so much real estate. For HomeAway, where this is listed, you have 75 characters to get your point across. So we're right now at 70 after erasing those. Obviously, the golf is a huge part of this. The pool and the hot tub are close. It's on the first floor. So those are the kind of things I want to keep. But I do want to talk some about that porch and maybe include that in the headline. So I was thinking something like golf course views from a screened porch to sort of start off the listing. And I might go through it depending on how long-winded I get. I might give you a couple options. But the reason why I like this is it talks about the screen porch, and it also gives people something concrete to latch onto with those golf course views. So they know that the golf course is close and that this is a great option for golfers. But it also shifts the emphasis on something a little bit different. That other places might not have a porch that nice. So I do like that you mentioned it's on the ground floor. I think that's important for people who maybe have mobility issues or who don't want to do steps on their vacation, understandably. And I do like that the pool is nearby. I think that's because it's not like it's a community pool that's a mile drive away. You can walk right to it. So these are some of the key selling points that I thought really make this headline stand out. So let's see where we are as far as word count. So I'm going to real quickly delete this one, and we're at 67. So that's good. We're under the minimum, or under the maximum. So why don't we go ahead and talk about those emojis and how we can use those to play up this headline a little bit. Whoops. Okay, so if you have a Mac, what you're going to do is hit Control Command Space. And that pulls up this nifty list of emojis here. And I typed in golf course. I noticed on Margaret's other listing, she used the golf course or the putting green emoji. So I thought that was really cool. So I wanted to include that one here, just sort of, drive home, no pun intended, the golf course connection for this property, because it seems like that's a pretty big, pretty big selling point. So if I can just get this in there. Giving me trouble. There we go. Now we've got two of them for our trouble. So just have that there. It does show up on HomeAway. When you look at their search results, you'll see the emojis right there on the search results page. It's just kind of a nice touch to grab people's attention, differentiate you from the crowd. And I do like the palm tree that Margaret used eventually. So we'll do that again. Again, it's Control Command Space, and you just make sure the cursor is hovering where you want your emoji to go. You pull up this character viewer, and we'll do palm tree. And hopefully this goes in easily this time. Did that work? There we go. So now the new headline, just to compare the two, the new headline sort of more clearly focuses on the selling points. This just seems kind of like a collection of words, whereas this reads more like something that's leading people to want to learn more. Now, Margaret, you can totally correct me if I'm wrong, if these selling points are not really quite the selling points you want to focus on, but I think that in the end, this might be a headline that really grabs people. So give it a try. And maybe consider swapping out the main photo for this one, because when a headline works, one way that headline can work really well is if you have a nice image that pairs with the headline. So people will see the headline, they'll see this image, and then they'll kind of put the two together and say, oh, this sounds like a nice place to spend my vacation. So I'm going to stop there just for the interest of time. But thank you, everyone, for watching. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments on Facebook. And Margaret, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can get in touch with us at info@guesthook.com. Facebook, lots of options for getting a hold of us. So, all right, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.